Why? What is pulling the dust back? When they are slashing each other with these sharp weapons, the blood droplets that is flying, the blood droplets are flying all the way up to the sun planet, and the dust, it captures the dust and it comes down. So are we able to comprehend the spectacular warfare that is going on here? And in a weapon, in an aeroplane called Vaya-Esa, Bali Maharaj is sitting on this aeroplane. It's invisible and invincible aeroplane which was made for Bali Maharaj by a demon named Maya Dhanava. Maya Dhanava is a mystic demon who created, if you remember Maya Dhanava, you can read in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam when he created 3 flying invisible cities called Tripura. One was made of gold, one was made of silver, one was made of iron. And this, all the demons were sitting inside these invisible flying cities, and they were attacking the demigods, and all the demigods prayed to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was releasing fiery beams of arrows on all these demons. The demons were getting hit by these arrows and they were dropping down dead into a lake called Mrita Sanjeeva Itari. Mrita Sanjeeva Itari. When they fell into it, they became as strong as thunderbolts. So they wake up again after death. Once they fall into this Mrita Sanjeeva Itari, they come back to life and with so much more vigor, and then they go back to this invisible flying city. So Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma then come in the form of a cow and a calf. At noon, it's not at night they come, during noon time they come and they drink all the nectar that was there, and Maya Dhanava was not able to do anything. So this Maya Dhanava is a mystic demon. He's the one who made this Vaya-Esa flying invincible aircraft for Bali Maharaj. And Indra is sitting on this elephant carrier Airavata, because he's already got this Airavata from this churning of ocean of milk. And whatever weapons that Bali Maharaj is using, Indra is nullifying that. Whatever weapons using. Then he summons his illusory potency, Bali Maharaj, and he summons a flying mountain. Just imagine on a clear blue sky, there is only one cloud that is not too big. But just imagine, whatever you look up in the sky, the whole sky is covered with a huge mountain, and from the mountain, all the sharp rocks fall and hit and kill many of the soldiers of demigods as well as demigods themselves. So sharp rocks are falling, small hills are falling from this floating mountain. Lions, tigers, scorpions, rakshasas are all falling from this flying mountain. And from there, coal, red hot coal, huge sizes falling, and then there is so much of fire. It looks like Samvartaka fire, according to Srimad Bhagavatam. Samvartaka fire is the fire that starts at the time of dissolution of the universe. So Samvartaka fire comes, and after that, there is a huge flood that is coming and then inundating the whole area. So the demigods, who will they go to when they have problems? They pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And immediately, Lord Vishnu appears there. And as soon as Lord Vishnu appeared, all these mountains and scorpions and all these things vanish immediately. And in the purport, Prabhupada writes, just like we have a nightmare when we are sleeping, we have a very bad dream. We have a nightmare when we are sleeping. And suddenly when we wake up, all this dream goes away, this nightmare goes away. Like that, all these bad things that were affecting the demigods immediately vanished as soon as Lord Vishnu appeared there. Lord Vishnu appeared there, killed Kalanemi. Who's Kalanemi? Anybody remembers? Kamsa was Kalanemi in the previous life. So anyway, Kalanemi is killed. He was in a lion with the blazing trident. The Lord kills Kalanemi. Lord kills Mali and Sumali. Those are two other very powerful demons. And after that, Indra himself releases his thunderbolt, and immediately Bali Maharaj dies. Yes, you heard that right. Bali Maharaj dies. Now you're wondering, we're talking about Lord Vamanadev's appearance and Bali Maharaj is already dead, so where is this pastime? So just wait for a few more minutes. So Bali Maharaj is dead at this point of time. Then, because Bali Maharaj is dead, Jambasura comes. Jambasura is another powerful demon. Jambasura comes and immediately he strikes Airavata. Airavata falls unconscious. So elephant who's generated from this ocean of milk falls unconscious. Now Indra does not have a carrier. He cannot go anywhere. In the middle of war, immediately Matali is the charioteer of Indra. He brings this chariot which has got 1,000 horses in the front. Immediately these yellowish color horses, the chariot with 1,000 horses come in front of Indra. Indra jumps onto this chariot, and then there are 3 other demons: Bala, Paka and Namuchi. You may have heard Namuchi? It's a very popular and powerful demon. So Bala releases 1,000 arrows and it hits the 1,000 horses, and Paka releases 200 arrows. It strikes the chariot and Matali, and Indra releases the thunderbolt and kills Bala and Paka. And he releases this thunderbolt to kill Namuchi as well, but according to Srimad Bhagavatam it says not even a scratch is put in the neck of Namuchi. The thunderbolt, which is so powerful, which has killed Vritrasura and all the powerful demons, has got no effect on Namuchi. And there's a divine voice from the sky which tells Indra, it's my benediction to Namuchi. He will not be killed by any weapon that is dry or wet. Now here thunderbolt is dry, so it does not have any impact. So Indra uses his intelligence and he meditates, and then he comes up with a weapon made of foam. Foam is neither dry nor wet. And he releases that weapon and Namuchi is killed. So almost all the demons are killed, and at that time Lord Brahma sends Narada Muni to say enough is enough. You know, in a boxing match a referee says stop, the fight is over. It's like that. He stops this because almost all of the demons are dead. Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha ki jai, Gauranitai ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And as soon as the battle is stopped, the demons carry Bali Maharaj to Astagiri, where Sukracharya recites this very, very potent mantra called as Samjivani. So before we heard of Mrita Sanjiva Itari, and this is mantra called Samjivani. Because of that, Bali Maharaj comes back to life. The dead person is back to life. So he is indebted to his spiritual master Sukracharya, who brings him back to life, and then immediately Sukracharya tells him, perform a Visvajit Yajna. So he performs the Visvajit Yajna with the help of the Brahmins from the Bhrigu dynasty. And right after this Yajna, Visvajit Yajna, there is a wonderful celestial chariot that comes, which is covered with silk and gold. There is also a wonderful flag with a lion on that. And also, he gets a bow, he gets an armor, and 2 sets of quivers with infallible arrows. Infallible means it does not fail. So when he strikes something, it will go and hit that. So he gets that. Then Prahlad Maharaj gives him a garland that does not fade. And then Sukracharya himself gives him a conch shell. Now, don't think that this is something like a James Bond movie that we may see. You know, the movie suddenly a car appears with all these fancy gadgets. He pressed one button, you know, rocket launcher. This is infallible. The arrows are infallible. So he looks like worshipable fire according to Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bali Maharaj, what he does, he immediately summons all the asuras and he's marching towards Indraloka. And this is the first time we hear about the details of Indraloka. So it is said that the Nandana gardens are full of trees and it's bending so low because of the weight of the fruits. weight of the flowers, so big flowers, so big fruits, so succulent. It's bending down, the whole tree is bending down because of the weight. And there is a lotus pond which is filled with ducks, swans and chakravakra birds. Chakravakra birds are the birds that long for sunlight. And also there is so much of fragrance in the air, and the fragrance is coming from the breeze that is blowing on top of the flowers that are falling from the wives of the demigods. And there are 100 million aeroplanes. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 100 million aeroplanes in Indraloka which are operated not by pilot but by mantras. And there is Apsaras are dancing, Gandharvas are singing. There's a wonderful atmosphere. As soon as Indra sees Bali Maharaj and the Asuras are coming, they're marching like thousands of suns coming together to attack Indraloka. Immediately Indra goes to Brahaspati and says, what is the reason for his power? I've never seen Bali Maharaj so powerful. What is the reason behind his power? He says he looks like he is about to drink the entire universe, and he is about to lick all the 10 directions. So we know north, south, east, west, 4 directions. In between there are 4 directions. Then up and down there are 2 directions. So 10 directions. He looks like he's about to lick the 10 directions, and wherever he is looking there is fire generated, just like Samvartaka cloud. So second time in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the same past tense, we hear about Samvartaka fire. Samvartaka fire is the fire of destruction. And Brahaspati, the spiritual master of demigods, says his power is coming from the blessings. The Brahma Tejas that he's got is from the blessings of his spiritual master, and by satisfying the Brahmins of this Bhrigu dynasty. So the power he's got is straight from Krishna. Yasya prasada bhagavad prasado. Yasya prasada nagati kutopi. By the mercy of the spiritual master we attain Krishna, and by the mercy of the spiritual master one gets the power as Bali Maharaj had got. So if you remember, just not long ago, the demigods had the opportunity to drink this ambrosial nectar which gives them immortality, almost no death, almost no death. Still they die, almost no death, but very long duration. They have this power of this nectarian ambrosial drink. It's no match for the power of Bali Maharaj, who gets it by satisfying his spiritual master and by satisfying the Brahmins of Bhrigu dynasty. So Brahaspati says, run and hide. He tells Indra, run and hide. You and other demigods do not have a chance against Bali Maharaj. He is so powerful now, run and hide. But the same Bali Maharaj will disobey his spiritual master later on, and at that time you can get back your kingdom. But right now, run and hide. So Bali Maharaj and the Asuras capture Indraloka, and with that the 3 planetary systems, and they are ruling. Aditi, the mother of demigods. So Kashyapa Muni is the father of both demigods and demons. So Kashyapa Muni is the father. All the children from Diti are all demons, and all the children from Aditi, who is the other wife of Kashyapa Muni, all are demigods. So demigods and demons are brothers in a way, because they have the same father, Kashyapa Muni. So Aditi's sons are all demigods and Diti's sons are all demons. So Aditi, the mother of demigods, is very, very distraught and disappointed and sad because the demigods have lost everything that they had, and they are hiding because the demons headed by Bali Maharaj are ruling the heavenly kingdom. So she's not eating well, she's not sleeping at all, and then her husband Kashyapa Muni is performing severe austerities in a very far off place, and then finally Kashyapa Muni comes and he asks, why are you so pale and sad? You can see, before she can say, why are you pale and sad? What is the reason? And he himself gives the reason, which is education for all of us. What does Kashyapa Muni say? Did you fail to receive any uninvited guest to our house? So this is a lesson again for all of us. If we fail to receive an uninvited guest to our home, then there is going to be sadness, melancholy everywhere in the house. did you not even give water to this uninvited guest? Then there is so much of sadness. If one does not give even water to an uninvited guest, then that house is jackal's hole, according to Kashyapa Muni, who is father of demigods. So she said, no, all the uninvited guests were taken good care. Then he asked, did you fail to perform any yajna or sacrifice? And then she says, no, everything was done wonderfully well. Still, the demons have defeated the demigods and our sons are all hiding. So please, I want your powerful indulgence in this affair so that our sons can attain this in the loka again. He tries to teach philosophy to her, saying the relationship that all of us have are temporary in nature. But whatever Kashyapa Muni tries, Mother Aditi is not satisfied because it's the children who are hiding. Then finally he says, okay, I will give you the process that Lord Brahma gave me. If you follow this process, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear and He will solve all your problems. So she asked what it is. Please tell me, I am going to follow this vrata. So he gives her the process called as Payovrata or Sarva Yajna. It's called Payovrata or Sarva Yajna for 12 days. But this 12 days, don't think it's short period of time. This is in the heavenly planetary time. So 12 days just sustain on milk. And there's a huge process given in Srimad Bhagavatam about this Sarva Yajna or Payovrata sacrifice, where one has to smear on their body the dirt that is dug by a boar, by a pig. And after that, you have to take bath in a flowing river. And you have to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya almost throughout the day. And you have to chant Purusha Sukta mantras. You have to satisfy your spiritual master. You have to offer wonderful prasadam to the Vaishnavas. And then various other yajnas are also prescribed during this Payovrata or Sarva Yajna sacrifice. And then she does everything wonderfully well. And Srila Prabhupada in his purport says, Mother Aditi performed this Sarva Yajna Payovrata sacrifice for 12 days. But all of us have this advantage in this Kali Yuga to perform a similar yajna to satisfy this Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Khalir dosha nide rajan, asteko mahan guna, kirtana deva krishnasya. That verse, it says, even though this Kali Yuga is ocean of faults, still there is one good quality. Just by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be able to fulfill all that is needed to attain perfection. So, right after she performs this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in the four-armed Vishnu form, and Lord Vishnu tells Mother Aditi that I will be born as your son in the next little while. But keep this confidential and continue to perform devotional service as well as continue to serve your husband Kashyapa Muni. So she continues to do that. And in the holy month of Shravana, on the 12th day of the holy month of Shravana, in the auspicious moment of Abhijit star, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is born in this four-arm form. If you remember, Lord Krishna also took this four-arm form when he was born, and then later, because Mother Devaki requested him to look normal in his two-arm form, he immediately changed to this two-arm form. Similarly here, Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared in this four-arm form, in the Vishnu form, and then dramatically he shrunk to this Lord Vamanadev's form, dwarf form, Trivikrama or Urukrama form, very small form. And then various samskaras were performed, and during his thread ceremony, Upanayinam ceremony, the sun god himself came and gave him the Gayatri mantra, and the thread, sacred thread, is given by Brihaspati. The begging part is given by Kuvera. The first begging alms was given by Bhagavati, the goddess of universe, and then Saraswati gave him Rudrakshapit. Then Lord Brahma gave him Kamandalo. It's like a water pot for him to carry. So all these wonderful personalities gave him so much of gifts during his Upanayana ceremony, thread bearing ceremony. And right after that, in the northern part of Narmada river, it's called Brigu Kacha. Brigu Kacha is a place where Bali Maharaj is performing Aswamedha Yajna. And Lord Vamanadev goes in this most beautiful form, and every step that he takes, earth is pushed down. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, the earth is pushed down. And he looks so effulgent on all the priests who are performing this Aswamedha Yajna. Wondered, is this the personality of sun? Is this the personality of fire? Is this the fire god who is coming? So much effulgence is there. And immediately, when he sees this most beautiful brahmachari, Bali Maharaj falls at his feet and he washes his feet and he said, now my sacrifice is complete. All my forefathers are satisfied. All my sins are eradicated. Now please tell me what you want from me. I can give you gold, I can give you cows, I can give you cities, I can give you villages, whatever you want, I can give you. Immediately Lord Vamanadev tells him that you, Bali Maharaj, are coming from an uncommonly powerful warrior family. Why is that? Because his great-grandfather is Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu's brother is Hiranyaksha. Uncommon warriors. That's what Vamanadev refers them to. And your grandfather is the great Prahlad Maharaj. And your father is Virochana, who promised charity for Brahmins, and he kept his promise. And I know you will keep your promise too. So all I am requesting you is, please give me 3 steps of land. 3 steps of land. Bali Maharaj laughs and he says, I own 3 planetary systems. If you ask me Jambudvipa, I can give you. If you ask me something huge, I can give you. It is disgrace for my reputation if you beg from me and then later on you go and beg from someone else. It's disgrace for my reputation. So, and he tells him, your intelligence is also, he's telling Vamanadev, your intelligence is also as small as your body size. Your dwarf, your intelligence is also small. Ask me something big. And Lord Vamanadev says, I am a Brahmin, and if I am not satisfied with these 3 steps of land, I will not be satisfied even if you give me 7 islands, Jambudvipa and all the other islands you give me, I am not going to be satisfied. I have to be satisfied from within myself. So I will be completely satisfied if you give me 3 steps of land. Vamanadev laughs and he takes the water pot and he promises that he is going to give. Right after that, Sukracharya says, stop. Do not give the 3 steps of land to this Brahmin boy. He is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamanadev, who's appeared as the son of Kashyapa Muni and Aditi, and he's going to take in 2 steps your 3 planetary systems, and you will not be able to keep your promise of giving him the 3rd step of land, and because of that, you're going to be punished and sent to the lower planetary system. So do not do this, and he gives him various other philosophies as to how he has to keep some money aside for his reputation, for opulence, for his family and everything else. He's listening. Bali Maharaj is listening to everything. And then later on, and why he's listening in Prabhupada's purport, Prabhupada says, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Your spiritual master, you have to learn the truth from the spiritual master by humbly approaching him, inquiring submissively, and rendering service unto him. And he's wondering, my spiritual master is telling me this, that I should not keep the promise to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I should not keep my promise. So this is something that is new to Bali Maharaj. But he also is remembering another verse. Guru na tatsyat, swajano na tatsyat, pita na sasyat, swajani na sasyat. This verse says, one is unfit to become a spiritual master, a father, a mother, a friend, if one is unable to deliver a dependent from this cycle of birth and death. So here, what Sukracharya is telling him is to be implicated in the cycle of birth and death, because he's telling you have to be a liar now. What you promised you should not keep, especially to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he says, if this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if he came to bless me, or if he came to take anything from me, I am okay. I will do as it is. Because when one dies, all the opulence that one has is separated at the time of death. $1 million, one millionaire has got, but $1 million stays back, but he is gone. So he says one lives beyond death by the reputation. And he gives the example of Dadichi and Dadichi Muni. Dadichi Muni is the one who gave the bones. He allowed himself to be killed so that Indra can get the bones to make this wonderful thunderbolt weapon to kill Vritrasura. So, and Maharaj Sibi, he quotes Maharaj Sibi as well, who cut all his flesh to save this pigeon from this hawk. So one will live after death because of the reputation and not because of the opulence. And he said, I'm not scared of death or hellish planetary system or losing all the opulence, but I'm scared of lying to a Brahmin. And he says, I am the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. And if I lie now, what happens to my grandfather's name and reputation too? And it is said, Mother Earth can bear any weight. Mother Earth can bear the weight of all the oceans, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, how heavy it is. Lake Ontario, all the skyscrapers in downtown and Manhattan, it can bear any weight. But it cannot bear the weight of a liar. So I cannot go back on the promise that I have given to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to offer him the 3 steps of land that the Lord wanted. So immediately again, Vindhyavali, his wife, comes. Both of them wash the lotus feet of the Lord and they say, take your 3 steps. And the Lord takes his right leg first. The right leg gets bigger and bigger and bigger, covers the middle planetary system, all the lower planetary system, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, everything is covered with the right leg. And with the left leg it goes up, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Swargaloka, Janaloka, Mahaloka, Tapaloka, all the way to Satyaloka. And because of the effulgence from the toenails, Lord Brahma comes out to see what is going on. And then he washes the lotus feet of the Lord with the water from his Kamandalu. And according to Srila Prabhupada, that is one way that Ganges came. So the water that washed the lotus feet of the Lord with the Kamandalu of Lord Brahma is Ganges. But Srila Prabhupada also quotes in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which says more about this Vamanadev incarnation, where the toenails pierce this layer of the universe and the causal ocean flows in, washes the feet of the Lord, and that is also Ganges. So there is 2 ways it is said how Ganges appeared. And the 3rd way is Lord Narayan himself says, I am Ganges, according to Srila Prabhupada. So he's got his 2 feet, right leg down, covering the lower and middle planetary system. The left leg all the way up to Brahmaloka, top of Mount Sumeru, the golden mountain. And the Lord Vamanadev is telling Bali Maharaj, you promised me 3 steps. Now where do I keep my 3 feet? I don't have any other place to keep my 3 feet. So you have to be cursed to go to the lower planetary system, just like your spiritual master had told you. You will not be able to fulfill your promise of giving 3 steps of land. At that time, all the demons come and attack all the demigods, and they try to attack Lord Vamanadev as well. But at that time, Nanda, Sunanda, and Jaya and Vijaya, if you remember, the gatekeepers, all of them attack all the demons and they kill them. And at that time, Garuda comes and uses Nagapasha, which is the rope of Varuna, and ties Bali Maharaj. And at that time, Bali Maharaj says, I'm not a liar. Please keep the 3rd foot on my head. And the Lord places. So according to other Puranas, it says there was a feet that grew from the stomach of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is the one that placed on, that is not in Srimad Bhagavatam, but from other Purana. But the 3rd feet was placed on the head of Bali Maharaj. That's why Atma Nivedana. He offered everything that he had. And at that time, Prahlad Maharaj comes just like a moon is rising in a cloudless sky. And at that time, Bali Maharaj is not able to offer him obeisances because he's tied with the rope of Varuna. And then he just nods his head as he's giving obeisances to Prahlad Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj is so thankful to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for taking everything away. He says, this is the greatest benediction that I can get because you took everything away from me. And Prahlad Maharaj offers obeisances to the Lord and thanks the Supreme Personality of Godhead for this punishment, which is a mercy as well, because he's removed the darkness of ignorance from Bali Maharaj. And then Lord Brahma comes. He pleads for clemency. You may have heard this word clemency, is to reduce the punishment. And Lord Brahma prays to Supreme Personality of God and says, even when, this is again an education for all of us, instruction for all of us, even when one just offers patram pushpam, a flower or a leaf or a water, you give them the spiritual world, you make them come to spiritual world. Whereas Bali Maharaj has given everything that he had, all the 3 worlds that he owned, he gave everything, and he gave himself also to you. Please have some mercy on Bali Maharaj. And the Lord says, I am extremely pleased with his patience and his promise that he kept. He did not go back on the promise that he gave. So he said, I'm going to give him the Sutala planet. Sutala planet is one of the lower planetary system, but it is also Bila Swarga. It's a Swargaloka, but it is the lower planetary system. And the Lord said, I will be a gatekeeper in Sutala planet. And he also said, Prahlad Maharaj, you also accompany Bali Maharaj to this Sutala planet. And then it is said that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamanadev, is being a gatekeeper in the Sutala planet, Ravan comes to attack Bali Maharaj to take the Sutala planet. And at that time, with his right toe, Vamanadev kicks Ravan, and then Ravan went flying 80,000 miles. 80,000 miles. So the Lord is there all the time. So he said, you will have my darshan all the time, and there will be all opulence to you. So this is the pastime of Lord Vamanadev's appearance and his wonderful activities with Bali Maharaj.